Hey there, and I have a ton of documentaries. So I probably have not scratched the total surface of all the documentaries that are in my collection. But these are the ones that I could come across tonight. And that being said, I hope you guys watch the whole video because at the near the end of the video, I'm going to start off with my regular documentaries. By the time this video ends, you're going to see a list of some of my favorite documentaries, some stuff that I really recommend, and ones to pick up to watch if you don't have them, and ones that if you got them, maybe to give a second glance at, and hopefully we can actually find out some stuff. And if you guys have any documentaries that you think I should be looking into that I haven't checked out, put it in the comment section down below, and I'll be right back right after this. Hey there, so I had planned to make some tea and I may do that in the middle of the video, so if my voice starts to go and you see me like go for a second and I just pop back, that's because I've gotten to make tea, but through the magic of internet editing, uh, you probably won't notice it a little bit. So first up is, well, let's go through all these. One by Passport Video. Now Passport Video doesn't exist anymore. They were a lower budget company. And whenever I see something that I know is not around and has some kind of stuff that I'm interested in, even if it's kind of cheesy and kind of different, I like to pick it up. I'm a big fan of film noir, so I had to grab up the best of film noir. Is this a great one? Probably not really, actually. I haven't actually got around to watching this yet. Basically, it's got like a bunch of trailers on here with some different things. Bogey McCall interview with the studio, Touch of Evil interview with Janet Leigh, condensed versions of two noir classics, Detour and DOA. I'm not sure how actual condensed it'll be. Probably like really like 5 to 10 minutes condensed, which I kind of dig. So I kind of want to see that. It's got like kind of this goldeny type shiny. So cannot pass that one up. Like I said, my best of my best are coming up last. Next up is the Donner Party. This was one from PBS, as you can tell. PBS DVD video. Don't come across these very often. I was actually at a pawn shop, and they had it out there. So I was going to do this one, and this was a Rick Burns. I wonder if it's related to Ken Burns. Documentary done on the PBS show American Experience. Interested in these documentaries, or some of these are kind of can be for some people hard watches because it's a pretty dark subject matter. It does run 9 minutes long. PBS never really steers me wrong when it comes to the documentaries. If it's something I'm interested in, even if it's not really, I can find it that I can actually get into it a bit. This was originally planned to be part of a Halloween special in the 31 Days of Horror. I was going to review some horror kind of oriented documentaries. I may do that this year if you guys are interested. So the Donner Party. Next up is the true story of a guy who a lot of people have on their shirt, but they don't really, unfortunately, know a lot about the character himself, and that's Che. A revolutionary, is definitely a guy that, some people have issues with the some of the stuff that he did, but the fact is, revolutions and all that stuff. I know you see it like Turkey and stuff like that. They're not bloodless affairs. Things have to be done. And he stood up for an ideal and a cause that he strongly felt in, and he got like screwed over. We all know that he, if you checked out this, or you should check it out, this is about the History Channel, and we all know. I haven't watched this one recently, but I know that I know the story. So yeah, he got screwed over quite a bit. 91 minutes long, definitely worth checking out. Find out what's on your shirt. Next up is another one that I had planned to do for the 31 Days of Horror thing, and I may do it like I may do a documentary review series, which I would really enjoy. Actually, I don't know if you guys would, but let me know if you would. and that is the History Channel's Salem Witch Trials. Very cool. And again, these run here about, what's 90 minutes? No, actually, this one runs about 50 minutes long. So it's one of the shorter, the hour long. It's Search of. So there's a Search of series. And this one's the Salem Witch Trials. I do kind of dig these documentaries, and this one's not too long, so I might actually put this one on soon sometime. Next is a very cool one from Shout Factory, and that is The Night James Brown Saved Boston. So I don't know if I want to give you a lot of information on this one. Yeah, I should. Okay, so Martin Luther King was assassinated. And well, basically, the day after Martin Luther King was assassinated, James Brown's booked for a show, and he doesn't really want to go on stage. Nobody wants to go on stage the day after such an epic, revolutionary, amazing man has been assassinated. But James Brown did, and the night James Brown saved Boston, see exactly what he did and how epic it was. To be completely honest with you, it was amazing. Check it out. My better half loves sharks. She is a marine biologist. That's what she went to school for. It's not what she does for a living. We wish, especially around here in Newfoundland, you think that would be like a bigger thing than it is right now. But we love sharks and Shark Week, so we have a few of these Discovery Channel documentary series. This one has 3 on it, and it is Shark Week: Ocean of Fear. Hind loves sharks, and anytime she can find a shark-related documentary or film, she's there. She's all for it. And Shark Week: Ocean of Fear was one of the early ones we found at a Dollarama. She was extremely excited about it. I got a few more here to show you. Next up is one that I grabbed at, actually I got this at Dollarama. I was really excited about it because I actually got to meet the guy that did this back when I was much younger. And it's the Nature of Things with David Suzuki. David Suzuki is kind of a visionary. He's a strong proponent for to stop global warming. And in a society where there's actually really are politicians and stuff out there that still don't believe that global warming exists, we need men like David Suzuki around to actually smarten them up. So this one here is a bit more is a futuristic one. It talks about what has the Earth energy and the building green, because he's very green conscious. But also stuff like Living City, A Critical Guide, Supercar, Building the Car of the Future, and Suzuki Diary. So some awesome stuff on here. 2 DVD set. I like the way it's done. As you can see, it's like no plastic. It's David Suzuki. Next up is the Waltz with Bashir. I don't remember this one that well. I know that when I saw it, I enjoyed it, but I can honestly say, I don't remember. I remember where I picked it up to. I remember the day I got it. I remember there was a Piper's Outlet store that was there, and they had a bunch of DVDs, and Waltz with Bashir was one of them. But yeah, picked it up. Huh. I just you have the time you feel like you have something on your tongue, and just it's like that. It's a weird feeling, guys. This is one I grabbed at a yard sale, and I'm guessing they probably got it over where, Gettysburg. Final Measure of Devotion, the anniversary commemorative. So more than likely, these were people that went into that area and probably picked it up there. It's like in Gettysburg, the Final Measure of Devotion. I think it's a reenactment or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, it's like they do like a reenactment type documentary. So it's kind of cool. I love the artwork on it. Picked it up for like 50 cents at a flea market one time, and I really had to check it out. Here's one that I hold strong hope for. I haven't watched it yet. I really haven't, and I should have. because I got this in Montreal during one of the Comic Cons. I was asked recently on here when I was wearing a Montreal Comic Con shirt. I was, and that's the thing. I've been to the Montreal Comic Con a few years in a row, and I got to meet Tom Savini, Gunnar Hansen, Doug Bradley, Stan Lee, Wim Shatner, a lot of people there. Just some amazing people. Kevin Sorbo's an amazing guy, really sweet. And there's this they're doing these selling off these DVDs. This one table was to actually go for a documentary. It was kind of like a Evil Dead fans documentary called Hail to the Deadites. And one of the things I bought on their table was this one here, I Heart Monster Movies. So I really haven't watched this yet, but this is a documentary that was filmed, I'm pretty sure, primarily from interviews that were done at conventions. So I'm kind of looking forward to watching this. I've actually gotten to go to a few conventions. I've also gone to the Ottawa Comic Con as well, and I'm hoping to maybe next year, fingers crossed, go to the Toronto Fan Expo. So if any of you guys are there and look me up, I will be definitely, hopefully, fingers crossed, looking around and seeing if I can check out the Fan Expo next year. Next up, it's one I haven't watched yet, so I'm not going to lie. I buy things that I don't always get around to right away. And now times like this, I find myself getting around to it because my better half's gone and I'm watching a lot more stuff. And that is Black Gold, the documentary about, oil. In an attempt to save 75,000... Oh, no, sorry. How can I say that? Your coffee will never taste the same again. About coffee. I totally didn't get that right. That could be like a blooper, but we're going to keep it in there because Gonzo. Yeah, it's a documentary about coffee, and I love my caffeine. So, yeah, I am actually extra excited to watch this documentary now. I am not going to lie. Here's another one that I found at a flea market for very cheap, and it's a Newfoundland one done here, actually in Newfoundland. And that is, oh my god, I'm going to get this name wrong. If anybody knows the animal, they can probably say if I pronounce wrong. The Newfoundland Aquarilis, I think. It's this fish, right? So basically, it's like underwater. It looks at the different, I bought this for my better half, where she's into, she's in marine biology. That's what she got her bachelor's in. One of her bachelors anyway. She got a couple. As you can probably tell when she's talking, and not me when it comes to this stuff. But this was a really interesting documentary on Newfoundland aquatic life. Grabbed up this one, and I got this at the same time that I actually got a Criterion movie that I didn't put in my documentary because I didn't think of it so much as a documentary as just videos and that. But Beastie Boys starring in Awesome, I shot that. So Beastie Boys, basically what they did was they did some concerts, and during those concerts they gave these cameras out to people to film footage of their concerts, and they actually made a documentary out of it. They're very unique, very different concert video documentary, kind of really cool. So how to pick that up. Next up is this is the only wrestling one that I consider really documentary. I got some other ones that a documentary with other stuff on it, but this one is just plain out a documentary, and that is the history. Oh, that's it. And I also have some matches. History of TNA Year One. I was a really big fan of TNA when they started. People they had a lot of great wrestlers like AJ Styles. If you watch the WWE right now, he's a big guy over there. Jerry Lynn also worked there as well. Guys like the New Church, America's Most Wanted. America's Most Wanted had got James Storm, Bobby Roode, and all those guys. So, no, not James. America's Most Wanted had James Storm and Chris Harris, I think. He was with WWE for a very, very short period of time. He's one of those guys that you really thought was going to be a big star, and just didn't work. So next up are a few Blu-rays. I have this one is Into the Universe with Stephen Hawking. We don't think we watched this one yet. We are huge fans of Hawking. We did watch the documentary, the big one, the great one, History of the Universe one. See, we haven't watched it. You can tell it's not even opened. But had to grab this up. Saw this one at a Dollarama. Again, this is a 180-minute documentary, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. 3 spellbinding hours. The renowned Stephen Hawking gives us the ultimate guide to the universe. So I'm really interested in checking that out. These we definitely have watched before. This is Shark Week Jaws of Steel collection. There's like 2 discs in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 documentaries. We got Survivorman on here. We got like a bunch of stuff. We got like Blood in the Water, Daily Waters, Day of the Shark, Cash Cab, Deadliest Catch Captains, Shark Bite Summer was actually a pretty cool one. Great White Appetite, Shark After Dark, and Sharks Under Glass. There is some really good stuff on here. And I do love the shark documentaries myself too. She's not the only one. So whenever she watches those, I'm definitely watching with her. Next up is Shark Week's the Greatest Bites collection. And this one again has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got like Dirty Jobs episode here with sharks on it. We got Shark Attack Files 4. Another Dirty Job. We got 2 more Dirty Jobs episodes about that. Mysteries of the Shark Coast. How not to become shark bait. Surviving sharks. That was actually pretty cool. They got a Mythbusters episode here on there. Shark Special number 2. Day of the Shark. Some great stuff. I'm a big Mythbusters fan. I don't have enough of it. That's probably one of the only ones I got. Also got here Restless Fury, another shark one. So we got a few of these here with Into the Shark Bite, Ultimate Air Jaws, Day of the Shark 3. This almost came in after the last one though. Shark Attack Survival Guide, Shark Bite Beach, Shark Week's Best Bites, Sharks Are They Hunting Us? No, probably not. We're hunting them more near us. Man vs. Shark, Tiger Shark, and Man vs. Fish, Tiger Shark, and Man vs. Fish, Mako Shark. So again, another, I think it's 2-disc one. Yep, 2-disc edition, so definitely worth checking out. Next up is, because I have 3DT over there, guys. TV over there, guys. And that is IMAX Hubble 3D. Pretty decent, actually. Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, it's not Leonardo Nimoy. It's Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm pretty sure. Oh, right on the cover. Good lord. Yeah, DiCaprio actually does the voice for this one here. So we got the Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copy. There was during the time that we actually had a Future Shop, and there's a lot of documentaries going on sale, 3D documentaries, during, I think it was like a Black Friday or something, so we picked up this one here. Really cool. And great, as you can see, the got the 3D there, got the DVD digital copy there, and the 3D one also has the Blu-ray, so basically there's a DVD here, there's a 3D Blu-ray and a original Blu-ray on there, and also a digital code in here as well, which is out of date by now, but still keep it in there. Next up is, you're going to be totally shocked, it is Perfect Shark. Another documentary that we grabbed up. It's a BBC documentary, and we really love the BBC documentaries. So, another one that we grabbed. This one I watched, but this particular version of it is not opened yet. And you hear me say this word a lot in my videos, and it is in relation to one of my idols. Because, guys, before I did all this, journalism was kind of my thing. Journalism and acting was work and writing. I did all that. I'm an artsy guy. Gonzo, narrated by Johnny Depp. It's the life and work of Dr. Hunter S. Thompson. Hunter S. Thompson was an amazing journalist. He ran with a very Gonzo style, very off the, he just went out and did it. So the documentary, like him, fast moving, fantastic soundtrack. Just check it out. Gonzo, great documentary. Next up is, I know you're totally going to be shocked on this one, the Shark Week 20th Anniversary Collection. We were really excited to actually find this and get it at a very cheap price. It has got Shark Attack Rescuers, Shark Attack Survivors, Anatomy of Shark Bite, Prehistoric Sharks, Future Shark, Bull Shark, the World's Deadliest Shark, Jaws Pacific, Sharks in the Desert Sea, Air Jaws, Sharks of the South Africa, Air Jaws 2, even higher, American Shark, Shark Rebellion, Shark Hunter, Chasing the Great White, and Shark Bite, Surviving Great Whites. Just like a bunch of different discs in here. Great stuff. Shark's slowly coming closer to you. So I'll get you guys to see this one here. Kind of cool, huh? I like that. I really did. Next up is a favorite singer of ours, especially my better half. She is a huge, huge fan. And when we were in Morocco, one of the places we visited was a place that was very near and dear to his heart, and that was Essaouira. That is Bob Marley, legend, best of Bob Marley and the Wailers. So it's kind of a documentary. It's it's got a bit of a it's got a documentary on it called Time Will Tell. It's a 90-minute documentary. It's got a bit like some of his singing on here as well. Want more? Is this love? Jammin'? Could you be loved? No woman, no cry. Stirred up. Get up, stand up, satisfy my soul. I shout the sheriff, of course. Buffalo Soldier, Exodus, Redemption Song, One Love. People get ready. So great music on here as well as a great documentary, but not the best documentary on here. Next up are some of my favorites. First up is the History Channel dinosaur one. So History Classics. And there are 12 documentaries on 4 discs here. We got Cannibal Dinosaur, T-Rex Hunter, Gang Killers, Bloodiest Battles, Deep Sea Killers, Hunter Becomes the Hunted, Biggest Killers, Raptor's Last Stand, Ice Age Monsters, River Death, Raptor vs. T-Rex, and Armageddon. These are all like fantastic documentaries. And whenever you see these sets, like I know these come in like you guys have like Dollar Trees, Dollar Generals, and stuff like that. Every once in a while you see these come up like for really, really cheap, like $2-3 or $1, that type of thing. Grab them. I mean, these are amazing. Also, I have Ancient Greek Gods and Battles. Quite a few on here as well. So we got like 9 documentaries here on 5 discs, and that's like Gods and Goddesses, In Search of History, The Greek Gods, Search of History, Oracle at Delphi, Last Stand of the 300, Decisive Battles Marathon, Decisive Battles Thermopylae, Troy, The Passion of Helen, Battles BC, Judgment Day Marathon, the Battles BC, Alexander, Lord of War, and again, some great stuff. Great sets. I need more of these actually. I have the Real West, Cowboys and Outlaws. Again, 9 documentaries and 5 discs, which great stuff. We have Buffalo Bill, Wild Bill Hickok, Legendary Cowboys, Alive from Beyond the 10 Star, James Gang, the Texas Rangers, Outlaws, the 10 Most Wanted, the Guns That Tame the West, and Jesse James, Hidden Treasure. You can't go wrong with these History Channel sets. These documentaries are a ton of fun, great to watch, really interesting, and love them. Next up is Clash of the Gods, the very first one that we got. Actually, this was a 10-part series, documentary series. Oh, it was a documentary as like Clash of the Gods can be. And before I dated my now better half, she actually picked this one up one day and we watched it. Zeus, Hercules, Hades, the Minotaur, Medusa, Beowulf, Tolkien's monsters, Thor, and Odysseus. So yeah, I should have known that was a girl for me when she started showing me this stuff, and that she was into it. Next up is a movie that I don't think we've checked out yet, and we really should, and that is Soul Power. I read a lot of good stuff on it. Great musicians on here. We got James Brown, B.B. King, Bill Withers, Sister Sledge, Miriam Makeba, Spinners, Big Black, The Crusaders, Celia Cruz, and today many more. So this was the 3-day music festival that was done back in Africa, actually. It was a Year 74 festival, and it was held before the Muhammad Ali George Foreman fight in the Rumble in the Jungle. So I'm really looking forward to checking this out, but it's someone I cannot check out without my better half because she is really into this stuff. Next one we got was For All Mankind. Another one from the Masters of Cinema. As you can see, these are both Masters of Cinema editions. This one actually also came out from the Criterion Collection, but we did want this one. We wanted this edition of it. Just again, like the Masters of Cinema editions, unlike a lot of the Criterions that have some fairly big books and that in there, and great stuff, great writing of that. And this is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack as well. Great ton of features on here as well. We got like audio commentaries, the making of the documentary, artwork galleries, NASA sound archives, lift-off footage, just a bunch of different stuff that I wanted. So, for all mankind. There's a bunch of stuff on here as well, by the way, just in case you want to like freeze it and like see what's on there. Not sure if that's going to let you or not, but there's like stuff like extra performances by James Brown, Sister Sledge, and like a bunch of others, Pointer Sisters. Next up is one that I spoke about recently in my Criterion video, so I'm not going to get into it, but it's the Science is Fiction 23 films by Jean Penlevy, and definitely one that I do recommend. You guys know I recommend this one. And here we go. So now we're getting into what I consider some of my favorite documentaries, period. We shall start over here. F is for Fake. Again, I did a Criterion one recently. I talked about this one. It's a fantastic movie. I love this one. Since I talked about it, I've watched it again. And there's other documentaries on there that I want to see as well. But F is for Fake is a Criterion one that I always recommend people. Not enough people have picked it up, but they really should. Next up is one that comes with this set here. Speaking of Criterion, Cat People is coming up for the original. So I spoke to some friends who said that basically, I kind of want it. I need to get it, but also I got the set that has Cat People and a bunch of others, and I'm not sure if it is so good. And see this set here? Why is this here? Well, one, it has the Shadow. It's in the Dark, Val Lewton Legacy documentary. That's part of the set. So I decided not to include that because it wasn't one on its own. This one also on its own. Val Lewton, The Man in the Shadows, done by Martin Scorsese. It's a fantastic documentary. It runs here like, I think it's like 87 minutes long. 87 minutes, yeah. Which is a sweet spot for me for documentaries. Now, Shadow in the Dark also deserves a notice here as well. And that's on this this set right here with the Seventh Victim. Now, I recently did a video where I talked about, I mentioned like the scene from, which I thought at the time was from Cat People. But great YouTuber on here, by the way. Does a lot of great stuff by the name of Gray. Reminded me that actually that scene that I was talking about with the girl scratching at the door was actually from The Leopard Man. So sorry about that, guys. But if you haven't checked it out, this is a really great set, the Val Lewton Horror Collection. There's a bonus bit for you. Definitely something worth checking out. Next up is the one that I found. It's one that I love. I've watched this one a lot. And that is Stan Lee's Mutants, Monsters, and Marvels. And basically, it talks about creating Spider-Man and Here Comes the Heroes. There's 2 documentaries on here. Kevin Smith is the guy that's kind of like doing it with him. And because it's Kevin Smith, it's extremely entertaining. Kevin Smith's a huge comic book fan like me, big geek. And Stan Lee is a big idol of his, so we got to work with him, of course. We did movies like Mallrats and that. But we got to sit down, like get inside Stan Lee's head and kind of talk to the master himself. Next up are a couple that have some great documentaries on them, and they are the Doctors Revisited sets. So I'm going to put them here both together like this. I had originally planned to do like the top 20 list, and this was going to be like one of them. I was going to like say, kind of cheat and say, here, this is one. So there are 3 of these sets actually. I only have 2 of them. I really need the last one. Last one has the last 2 doctors, last 3 doctors. There's a few doctors anyway. But these are all the classic doctors. So each one of them gets a 30 to 45, usually 45 minute long documentary, followed by an episode. So the way they ran it in the BBC is that the BBC would run the documentary, and right afterwards they would run what they considered a classic definitive episode for that doctor to kind of give you a good feel of how that doctor's run was. So we got here William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, and Tom Baker. William Hartnell got the Aztecs, which was a classic episode from him. One of the best episodes you're ever going to see with Patrick Troughton is the Tomb of the Cybermen. Spearhead from Space, the first John Pertwee one's on here, and Pyramid of Mars, which is a fantastic Tom Baker episode. Meet Sarah Jane. She's my very best friend. Rest in peace, Elizabeth Sladen. Next up has the next 4 Doctors. We got Colin Baker, Peter Davison, Sylvester McCoy, and of course, unfortunately didn't do enough. That's Paul McGann. I love his movie Paper Mask, by the way. Worth checking out. With Peter Davison, we got the shocking Earth Shock, where we got to see somebody get killed. That was a companion. With Colin Baker, I'm glad we got this one because I didn't have it. It was one that was kind of like controversial for the violence in it, and this is Vengeance on Varos. We have The Remembrance of the Daleks for Sylvester McCoy's Doctor. And of course, the only one to get for the Paul McGann one is Doctor Who the Movie, which was a co-production with Fox and never made it to an actual TV series, but still interesting to watch and to see what the American audience thought the Doctor Who was going to be. I'm glad that they waited. I do enjoy it for what it is, but I'm glad they waited. Next up is, well, this is 2 movies on here, but the on one disc, but on one disc, yeah. But the second disc here has what I really, really dig, and that is the Dalek Mania, the definitive Dalek documentary. It runs 57 minutes long. It's on here, something called the Dalek Collection. So I really like that. I'm gonna put that over my Doctor Who stuff, which is over there. I looked over there to see if there's any documentaries I want to take over there. But I want to like give you some videos on some like documentary stuff down the road in some sets. So basically, some movies you can get that have some killer features on them. I'll do one of those videos down the road. Next up is one that I got from the Montreal Comic Con, and that is Under the Scares. I had seen the poster for like 2 years in a row before this came out, and finally when it came out, I grabbed it up, of course by the Spasm Film Festival that they do in Montreal, and documentary but low budget independent horror cinema. Check it out. Speaking of documentaries on horror, I had to grab another one from Passport Video, a company that is no longer. And if you get a chance to grab this one up, I always say, I think it's fairly easy to get to. Grab it. It's a really, really good one, and I really enjoy this. And it's 100 Years of Horror, a complete collection hosted by Christopher Lee. It's 5 discs and documentaries, like half-hour long documentaries or 45-minute documentaries on things such as Dracula and his Disciples, Blood, Drinking Beings, Frankenstein's Friends, Baron Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Werewolves, Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, Ghosts and Phantoms, Witches, Demons, Mutants, Freaks and Scream Queens, Girl Ghouls, Maniacs, Gory Gimmicks, Sorcerers and Aliens, Mummies, Zombies, Mad Doctors, Man-Made Monsters, and Giants and Dinosaurs. Definitely worth checking out. One of those discs loose, I gotta check to make sure. Nope, it's not. But really, really love these. Okay, some of my bigger stuff here, and the next one up is, I'm a huge fan of these characters. I'm a huge fan of the cartoon series, and that is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I actually own the first Turtles comic, and I got it stolen from me. It was one of the originals. So Turtle Power, the definitive history of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a really good documentary. I do recommend it. I think it's been on Netflix a bit, but it's actually, I got this one at Target when we used to have Target here in Canada, and I got it for fairly cheap, like for $5 or $6. Really, really cool. Next up is another fantastic documentary that I really love. I did a review with my better half on here of this documentary. And if you haven't seen that review, I do recommend you check it out. I'm okay in it. She's amazing. And that is Trances. Incredible. It is part of the Martin Scorsese World Cinema Project. The whole set was put out on Criterion, and they put it out in volumes in the for the Masters of Cinema Eureka ones. And Trances is a fantastic documentary. It's about a Moroccan band, and it's really, really worth checking out. If you haven't seen it, just see it. It's just really good. Next up is Comic-Con Episode 4 of Fans Hope. I love this documentary. I have seen this one so many times. I'm actually tempted to watch it tonight. And again, just an incredible documentary. I can't go wrong. I saw a Blu-ray this recently. I thought about like upgrading it. Didn't know if there's any more features or anything on there. But love it. You know, featuring Stanley and Joss Whedon. Great documentary. Next up was one that was a bit of a find for me at the time. I think it's easier to find now, but when I was looking for it for ages, I couldn't find it, and then all of a sudden I just came across it like once or twice in a yard sale, and it is MGM when the Lion Roars. Really good documentary. So this one has part one, or this is a 3-part documentary, and this one has part one, and this two has part two. So where the heck is part 3? These do say a 3-part documentary on here. I've always wondered about that. I gotta check that out and find out what that is. If there is 3 parts, or if there's a part missing, or if it's part that was put on another disc, or part with a set or something like that. Speaking of sets, I have this one here. His name was Jason. It's the 2-disc splatter edition. I'll open it up for you. So you got disc 1 and disc 2. It's an Anchor Bay one. There is a really good documentary called Crystal Lake Memories. I do not own that documentary. I wish I did. I had the chance to grab it so many times, and I was always coming back to get it. And I haven't seen it around here, but hopefully it'll be here. But this is a really fantastic documentary. It's not as good as the Crystal Lake one, but I think you should own both. Just great to have them both. I'm getting into some fave face now. Of course, I won't spend too much time on it, but before there was Punk, there was a band called Death. Fantastic documentary. Check it out. I'm not going to give anything else away. Just it's really good. Here's one of my favorites. You're going to be surprised. Being Elmo, A Puppeteer's Journey. I actually really dug this. Kevin Clash, of course, had some things come out later on. Whether that was true or not, it's not. I don't think it was ever really. Well, if it was, I don't think it was ever really proven. But this isn't actually a fantastic documentary. I had heard that they had planned to do more, like Being Big Bird and all that. So whether that's true or that happens or not, I like to know. I like to see more of them. But Being Elmo is a fantastic documentary. It was fascinating. Next up is one that I watch over and over again. I think this is one I'm watching actually. 165 minutes long, but shag it, I might watch it. Saturday Night Live in the 80s, Lost and Found. As you guys know, the 80s was a very turbulent year for Saturday Night Live. They lost all of their original cast members, and they even ended up losing, well, Lorne Michaels himself, the man behind it. How did they survive? Check out this documentary. You will be fascinated. A documentary with a villain, with an actual villain. And that is King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters. Really, seriously, I did not think this was going to be any good. I had no expectations going in. I watched this about like 8 or 9 times. Fantastically engrossing documentary. Speaking of great documentaries, Birth of the Living Dead. This is the edition that came, that's exclusive actually to, this is the Blu-ray edition of it, and it's exclusive to Zavvi. Definitely check it out. One of my faves. This is a great documentary. Speaking of favorite documentaries, a brand new favorite of mine, and one that I know is going to get a lot of watch in this house, that's Jodorowsky's Dune. Amazing. Best movie never made. Incredibly amazing. I know I'm saying that for a lot of the stuff, but these are some fantastic things. These are movies that have, these are documentaries, and a lot of these documentaries, when I'm saying amazing, these have a replay value, really good replay value. And speaking ones that I think have really excellent replay value, and you can get this in the Troll 1 and Troll 2 set with from Shout, from Scream Factory, and that is the best worst movie. It's about Troll 2, and it's a really fun one. It talks about the phenomena that is Troll 2. I am planning to get the Troll 1, Troll 2 set, but I wanted this in its own, original, like the green case, Best worst movie. I really want to own it on its own, so I just need to have that one like that as well. Next up is the definitive documentary on this man, and it's a long one. It ran at 144 minutes, but there wasn't a second that I wasn't interested. And I went into this with very low expectations, didn't expect much, but Marley is a really fascinating documentary on the life of Bob Marley, and it's a very honest documentary on the man as well. So I really appreciated that, and my better half wanted to watch it. She's a huge Bob Marley fan, and I wasn't sure. But she made me believe her. I really liked it. Another really cool one, and that is Easy Riders, Raging Bulls. Well, this is about like 70s cinema. It's a 2-disc one. Again, there's some great stuff on here. It's 180 minutes long, so it's not overly long one. The bonus disc is called More Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. So a full disc's worth of additional mini docs with Dennis Hopper, Richard Dreyfuss, Eileen Burstyn, Sybil Shepherd, Peter Bogdanovich, Paul Schrader, John Millis, Peter Barton, more. So great documentary. If you haven't checked it out, Easy Riders, Raging Bulls talks about like an era in cinema that should never be forgotten. Some great stuff. Before we went all Hollywood on us. Speaking of that, the IFC also did a really great one on 70s films. And 70s films that change everything. They call it A Decade Under the Influence. So these are two great documentaries to kind of watch together. They have some great stuff on here. And this one here runs at about 180 minutes long. Again, it's an incredible documentary. We were fascinated with watching it. Getting down to my top 6 documentaries, and what I did here was I did list these as my top 6, and in no particular order, these are the top 6 documentaries that I got and that I love in my collection. Then these are just ones that I personally love. And first up is Corman's World, a fantastic documentary on Roger Corman. Shows what an amazing guy he was, the guy that made a ton of movies, and only one of them didn't get back its money, and that was one of his best movies actually. That he did a actually socially aware film with William Shatner about racism. But Corman's World is a fantastic documentary. Please check it out. It's really, really good. It's something that belongs not just to be watched, but it belongs in every serious cinema collector's collection. It really does. Next up is a fascinating and funny one, and that is Room 237. What do people think of The Shining? Well, originally a lot of people didn't like it, and other people just didn't understand it or didn't understand what Kubrick was doing. So they were kind of like, how do we make sense of that? Well, it made sense of making up their own conspiracy theories about what exactly The Shining means. And it is fascinating, kind of humorous to see what these people think of the movie The Shining. Great features on here as well. I haven't watched the commentary, but I really should, because I found this both fascinating and hilarious at the same time, and kind of shocking, some of the stuff he did. So Room 237. Speaking of Kubrick, longtime fan of Kubrick, and this is a fantastic documentary. Stanley Kubrick, The Life in Pictures. It runs 142 minutes long, and even at that length, it was too short for me. I just wanted to keep on going and seeing more and more of this master, and this is a great documentary. Next up is one put out by Shout Factory, and with Psycho 4 coming out, if you don't have this one, please pick it up. Seriously, please pick it up. It's really, really good, and it doesn't get a lot of credit. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, and that's a shame, because they really should, because the Psycho legacy is fantastic. It's a 2-disc set. There's a bunch of stuff on here. We got the documentary plus hours bonus features, extended, deleted scenes, full panel discussion with Andy Perkins, Psycho reunion panel. We got revisiting Psycho 2 and 3, a tour of the Bates Motel, a visit with Psycho memorabilia collector, Psycho on the web. The Haina Gallery presents serial killer inspired artwork. And seriously, guys, if you don't have this one, please pick it up. It's a really, 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 really good documentary. And if you're even remotely interested in Psycho, this actually talks on the whole Psycho Legacy, the documentary that explains and talks about all the Psycho films. Next up is one of my very, very favorites, Never Sleep Again, The Elm Street Legacy. This is tied with the other movie that I'm about to show you for my favorite documentaries of all time. This is epic. It goes into every Elm Street film in detail and runs like 240 minutes long. It's a long documentary. It may take you more than one sitting to get through it, but you know what? You'll be going back through it over and over again. Because one sitting or not, or two sittings, or three sittings, it's going to be something that you're probably going to watch over again. It just is a really good one. And the one that I watch more than any other documentary that I've got in my collection, I'm not going to lie to you, it is Not Quite Hollywood, the Ozploitation documentary. It's just a fascinating documentary on basically Aussie cinema, Australian cinema, and like the genre cinema that they did stuff. Every time I watch this, I find like something that I either forgot or something that comes across as new that I really like, that I really enjoyed. So there we go. That is my, as far as I know, but probably not complete, documentary Blu-ray and DVD collection. Leroy Green actually asked for this one here, and so big shout out to him for that there. And wow, I got through it all without going and getting my tea. As you see, the video hasn't stopped, so I'll be right back. Well, for me right now, it is time for tea, and let's roll the credits. Hey there, so thanks for staying for the after credit sequence, which I wasn't going to talk about, but kind of gave the way there. Anyway, so if you read the comments section of my video, my DVD is falling over there, somebody asked me about my Avengers set that I had, the complete Avengers collection, so the Emmett Peel mega set. So I got the Emmett Peel mega set of the Avengers. I don't have like the other Avengers ones, unfortunately. I do want to get like the bigger sets down the road as well, but this was part of a birthday gift for me one year. It's a 16-disc set, and it goes from The Town of No Return all the way up to the Forget Me Not. So there's a ton of stuff on here. Every M episode is on here. So 47 hours and 14 minutes. So here it is right here. This is my Avengers set. The complete Emmett Peel collection. If you go, I'll just be there for a second, so if anybody wants to like kind of freeze it and see the episodes that are on there. Now the way this was done, they took a very unique way of doing this, and sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. But what they did was they took all the discs and they put them on like kind of a kind of like this, and the discs are very like they're put together well, but you gotta like they're kind of like more than one. Like see this one here, a lot of these here have like two discs, so that's not one disc, that's actually two discs there and two discs there, couple there, a couple there. So they took the 16 discs and they kind of put them out like that. I wish they would have done them a different way, but that being said, I got it for a very, very, very good price, very reasonable price for this. I have planned to actually take them and put them into their own separate ones, but so that's the way it's done. Fairly decent set. It looks like actually the way it's done, it actually looks like there's discs missing right there. It's not. They're actually just over here. Discs 15 and 16 are right here. So yeah, they came out like these kept coming out, so they actually got put over. But that being said, it is a 16-disc set. The casing is actually pretty good for it. It is a great, great series. Features on it, not so much. So, will I get the UK one down the road? I probably will, because that looks to be like kind of the better set. but it's great to actually own the Avengers on DVD and have them. And I was asked to show this one, to show them off. So, is it worth getting? Yeah, it's definitely worth getting. The price was definitely right on this one here. I got this one, I think, for like maybe $25, somewhere around there, and that was in like Canadian. Uh, Barnes and Noble sold it, and they sell this one for, I think it's a little bit more expensive now, but keep an eye on it, and you can actually get it for a good price. The MPL episodes of The Avengers are fantastic. It is a fantastic set. I do recommend it. Thanks for asking for that. So it was James that asked for this one, James R, and I hope I got that right, because I haven't gotten to look over there in the last little while because my screen went black. But he asked me to show the complete Avengers set, and I said that I would. I'm actually going to be doing my BBC collection down the road, so wanted to like get that in there because I got a few BBC shows, and the Avengers is just one of the many of them. Thanks for watching, guys. And for me right now, my fake it was horrible at the end of this video before, but seriously, it is time for tea.